Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick camera tutorial on the iPhone 13, but this applies to almost every single iPhone if it's on the latest software. The first thing I want to go over is just like resolution. If you're filming, if you're using your phone for YouTube videos and such, you're probably going to want to know like what resolution frame rate you want to use. For me, I think standard 1080p 30 FPS works for most people. Once you start hitting 60 frames per second, I don't think it's necessarily required. It looks nice, but it's bigger file sizes, and if you can't transfer data quickly to your PC, if you're editing there, it's not really worth it. Just keep it on 1080p 30 frames per second. That's what this setting is in the top right. If you want to switch over to 4K and go to a higher resolution, which is basically 4 times the size, it's a 1080p image, you can switch to 4K. I don't recommend doing this, especially on a front-facing camera. I don't think that file size is necessary. I recommend keeping it on HD. And then, as I said, you can switch the frame rate. My camera's probably not going to pick this up too well, but like the overall frame rate looks a lot smoother when you do this. So it depends on the content you're filming. If you're like fast-moving, vlogging sort of thing, yeah, I guess keep it on 60 frames per second, but overall, I don't think it matters too much. As long as it's HD and YouTube people can actually see, like what's going on in the actual image. For photo, if you like actually are big into photography, the iPhone comes with a lot of cool settings where you can like really tweak how you want the overall image to look. And they added that with their most recent, was it iOS 15? I believe they added this. It definitely wasn't 16, but I think this was iOS 15 that they added these like sort of like filters. So if you click this button in the top right here, or you can actually get to it a different way by hitting this arrow and then this right here, sort of like shows like the 3 different images stacking on top of one another. You can adjust the overall photographic style of your image. We have standard. This is no filter. These are basically like Snapchat filters, but like built into your camera software, so you never have to tweak it in post editing. Rich contrast, that gives you a pixel like look. Vibrant, that boosts contrast and saturation if you like that. Warm, I actually really like the warm image. iPhones already like do warm images, but this kind of like boosts it even more. Just as you can see right here in the top or bottom right, it shows that it's increasing the warmth by 50. I don't know if that's points, but then the tone is staying constant. And then we have cool, so the warmth drops by 50 points. So it's up to you. This definitely changes how your images come out. So it's definitely a personal preference thing. And then like for the other camera settings, I mean, we have portrait, and you can change the sort of lighting on every portrait setting. I don't think that's necessary. Panoramic's useful if you just want to take like large like landscape photos. I'm not going to harp on that too much. Cinematic mode is cool, but on the iPhone 13, I believe it only does 1080p, like 30 FPS. And on the newer iPhones, you can bump this up to 4K. This basically just does like portrait video mode. Slow-mo, that's obvious. And then we have a nice time-lapse if you want to do like long time-lapse videos where you're doing something, I don't know, like cleaning your room and you want to film it all, and that sort of thing. Also, this is obvious, but if you're recording, this is an iPhone 13, you have 2 cameras. We also have a standard wide and then a ultra wide camera. Ultra wide's nice if you want to like vlog or something like that, or if you're doing top down shots like this, you can get more in the overall image, and that sort of thing. So another thing you want to like keep an eye out for, I wasn't going to talk about flash, but you want to keep an eye out for, if I go back into photo and I click this, the aspect ratio is pretty important in terms of like resolution, how sharp the image is, and like where you're actually posting this photo. That's also important. 16:9, like if you don't know, if you're recording YouTube thumbnails, and I made this mistake, if you're recording a YouTube thumbnail and you're shooting in 4:3, when you go to actually upload this, YouTube thumbnails are 16:9 aspect ratio. So you're gonna have to put this in editing software, and if you don't, you're probably gonna get black bars on your image. I think vertical bars, the left and the right, I think. So if you're looking for like YouTube thumbnails and you want to shoot those, definitely change this to 16:9. As you can see, it fills up like the majority of the screen now. But the image won't be as sharp when you actually do this. I don't think iPhones actually tell you that, but when I've used Androids, it'll tell you that, it'll let you know like the megapixel count is dropping when you switch to 16:9. But overall, the image, it's really hard to tell an actual difference. So if you're looking for thumbnails and that sort of thing, definitely switch it to 16:9. Highly recommend. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this overall like quick guide to camera settings on the iPhone 13. Applies to most iPhones. If you guys enjoyed this, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And yeah, Scott Tyler, road to 1,000 subscribers, 621 right now. If you could, guys, if you're new to watching this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and help me reach 1,000 subs so I can turn this passion/hobby into a business. So, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone.